Hello, Borj!
Mga Bisaya na amiga.
From Sydney, Australia. Welcome to our podcast.
My name is Rajay.
And I'm Anne.
And this is Hello, Borj. And today's episode, we come up with the title Fire Exit.
Fire exit. Very cryptic.
I know.
So most of our friendship, at the beginning of our friendship, it mostly revolved around some moments in the fire exit of our school.
Yes.
So tell us, Jade, what's this fire exit story all about then?
I know. So that's why we come up with this title, Fire Exit. There were so plenty of stories that I can remember, Borj, but maybe one thing that highlighted me about a fire exit is that every time we're dwelling like the school, how stressful, mentally, emotionally stressed we are, we always go to the fire exit, and then our conversation starts there, and then we just burst out all of our feelings.
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
Yeah. Yes, basically. So I think this has something to do as well with how I think we should tell them how we became friends.
That's right.
And then leading up to that fire exit.
How about we do this? I'll do my own version, and then you do your own version.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
So the really vague memory that I can remember the first time I saw you, Borj, is that way back 2008, it was enrollment in a college in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember that. And then, Anne, it really used to dress up with a polo shirt color with a short, and then you just wear like a doll shoes or a slippers. And way back before, my ate, which is my older sister, used to dress up like that, and I always find it so classy and so pretty, because one thing that I'm insecure with is really my legs. And Anne has the best legs ever. Long legs and really very... Wait, that's
they're more like crispy pata now.
No. So that's why I said she always like this very elegant lady, and very tall and very pretty. And like, oh my god, this lady's really what do you call it? Like very Filipina in a way that's very demure, intelligent. You can really see that she's really smart right away just by her face. And then so that's how I remember it. So way back when we were in the first year, we were in a different groups. So basically Anne belongs to the intelligent, smart people, and I am just belong to the very naughty it girls. Naughty it girls because we're the one who always do clubbing, always drunk, and always going with a date or with the boys. So that's our group. And then when I was in this group, I broke a girl code. Girl code, which means that one of the ex-boyfriend, one of this member of our group became my boyfriend. So when everybody knows that, oh my god, she's dating this person, then they kick me out in the group. So and that's all started like I don't know, sometimes Philippines is so weird, because even if we were in college, but I felt like it was so high school. It means that because we're just very small group in our university, and then everybody knows from first year to 4th year, so everybody knows what's the gossip all about. And then that's when it started, like I felt like I was really bullied at that time. So it was way back 2010, which is my second year, just because just because one of the ex-boyfriend of that one of my friends of that group becomes my boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I think that's all started.
What's your version is, Jade was right. We actually belong to a group of friends. But oh my god, you're putting me on pedestal. I'm not that super smart or something.
You are.
I think you would think that because I spoke English when I first joined the school, when I was in first year high school. Because back in high school, first year college, because back in high school we would speak in English.
Yeah.
But then coming into college, I thought that was, expected of all the students. So when I answered into kind of a recitation, or I gave an answer during a class discussion.
Yeah.
Where
I remember that.
that was weird because I spoke in English, but then
Yeah,
everyone just
fluently, so
everyone just spoke in our dialect. But
Mhm.
I think you don't know this,
What
and
is it?
as Jade shared, right? We belonged with different. We actually started with a different group of friends, and so I had this group of friends, and she had hers, as she said, who are very like they're the
girls?
it girls. They're the popular girls actually, because they're all very pretty and they have their own style. My group of friends were quite the conservative type, but then I'd be very careful on this because sometimes people think that Santa Santita, something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, my first recollection that I vividly remember of you interacting with you is that you had this pink bag.
Okay.
In first year college, like when you were in first year college.
Yeah.
So you had this pink bag. And my friend and I were together at that time, and I commented like, "Hey, I like your bag."
Okay. What did you say?
And you said, "Oh, pen shop." And my friend and I were like looking at each other. And by the way, Pen Shop is a brand in the Philippines. It's a popular brand. It's a really good brand as well. Just local. It's a local brand.
It is a Filipino brand. Like if you say Uniqlo is a Korean brand, then
it's
Japanese.
Japanese.
A Japanese brand. Then Pen Shop was the
Filipino brand. It's very popular and
oh my God,
loved by everyone. So, so that was my first ever recollection of her.
Oh
really interacting with her because I'm also. They're the their group is very outspoken, like they love to mingle with other people, whereas our group were quite the reserved ones. We rarely talk to other groups, or we're just very confined in our little group, right? And similar to Rojade, she broke the where she said she broke the girl code. I from my side, I actually cheated my boyfriend back then, and that boyfriend was actually the cousin of one of the friends that I was with during that time. And I have no idea how that boyfriend or my group of friends actually knew that I met with someone else. So I met with an ex.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But that was just one time, right?
Yeah, that was once.
Oh my God, yeah. So that is the reason, because in our even if that's what I said in our school way back then in college, is that whatever the gossip, even what year are you, every year knows about everything.
Everyone in uni from year
first
one
year,
or
two,
first year
three,
to
and
fourth year, they would know all about that. So going back to that story, I actually cheated on my my boyfriend back then by seeing my ex-boyfriend. So of course, my friend being the cousin of my boyfriend back then, my boyfriend then, she was, of course, very disappointed. And, they didn't like what happened. So during that time, Jay was already not in a good term, not in such a good, kind of situation with her friends. And it happened to be at the same time, I happened to be in that same situation. So it turned out, it ended like both of us were being bullied in class.
Both of us was just alone. So we decided,
let's team up. We're both bullied.
And one thing as well, as I said, with the ex-boyfriend that I had before, that was way back 2010. When me and Anne becomes close friend and we become best friend, I always sees Anne as his girl version. So, for example, I was gonna do you remember that? Yeah. For example, me and my ex-boyfriend would be in a certain scenario, and then I wanted to know how would he think. Then I always ask Borj, if you were him, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna react? And then every time Anne I will do like this, Borj. He will do exact the same thing that Anne said to me. Yeah. So that's why I said,
I was like the female version of her boyfriend.
Yes, that's right. So that's why, and then because that relationship was secret for a couple of months, secret in a means that we were not so public that, before it burst out that we're really dating each other.
Yeah.
So it's only Anne knows that every time I meet this guy, I always inform you, and you're the only one I shared about like what was happening. Until one day, it was in October that year when I decided, and when everybody knows that, oh, she was really dating this guy, the ex-boyfriend of one of my good friends. So yeah, that's it.
And the bullying was, I think, the hardest
so bad,
part of. We were second year college that time, and one of the topics in second year college of nursing, your second year of nursing, is, what's that?
Maternal and child.
Yes. And of course, this is where they talk about pregnancy and some reproductive systems.
Yes.
It got to a point where it got really, really awkward in the classroom because sometimes they would look at us or they would point. This was in 2010, and take note, I was actually a teenage mom. So I got pregnant really at an early age, and it was just too uncomfortable during that time. Yeah. And of course, things have changed now, right? We're super close. Not super close, but we're okay with talking to these friends now.
Yes.
But then, that time was just too uncomfortable.
Yes.
To the point that whenever we have breaks, breaks in class, we would rush to that fire exit.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where we cry or, vent out and just stay there until both of us are okay to go back in again for our next class. So I think the fire exit was a place of safe, a safe place for both of us.
Yes, that's
right. It was a place of refuge.
Yeah.
Because no one knew that place. Obviously, why would you go to the fire exit, right?
Yes.
So,
and then we just hang out there until we're okay. Yeah. Because I also mentioned this. That was just so very. I don't know. Maybe when people bullied you, it's not really okay. Have you ever watched the the series in Netflix? It's called. What was this one? 13 Reasons Why.
No, I haven't. No.
So there's 13 Reasons Why is just like there was a main character, and then she like decided to take off her life, and then she wrote a letter to everyone that causes why she did it. So when I was
she committed suicide.
Yes, she did. So when I was watching this, like, oh my God, if this TV series, I watched it way back when I was so immature, like 17 years old, and then you feel like you wanted to belong in a group. And then I saw that, I'm like watching this, I felt like, oh my God, I might like end up the same with this lady too. But then, so that's how bad it is, like how bad the bullying is.
And I was just in second year college. Yes. Anyway, I think it toned.
And remember, Borj, when I felt like I can't concentrate studying, I can't concentrate to stay in the classroom. Of course, I asked my mom to come over to the school and my ate. Have you know this story? Maybe you forgot. So I told them.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and then I told them that, Ma, I can't really barely to go to school anymore because people just like saying bad things about me. They're just gonna bash me, and then it affects me. So one day, my mom and my ate, which is my older sister, come over to the school to speak to our advisor, and then they really want to see these people like who hurts me, in a sense that
bullied you.
But then it made the scenario worse because after that, people were saying, "Oh, why are you like asking your mom to defend you? You can't defend yourself." Yeah. So it was really like that extreme. And then when you're 16, 17, that certain age, you felt like everything is just like big thing. You can't see that there will be always a brighter side, or you can't choose like you have to be matured enough or to be selective listening. That time, what matters most is that you belong in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
exactly.
Like you have to belong in a group. Yeah.
You need to,
so
feel part of something.
That's right. So that's why it was like that was how the impact like emotionally towards us. But well, I was glad that we found the fire exit.
Yeah. Actually, now that you share all these stories, I just came to realize, Gabi, that was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. there was a lot because I still remember Borj, like when we do our placements, when we go to community, and then after like in 2 hours we go back to the classroom to do the debriefing. So everybody there was just gonna say something like, oh, like passing by me, and then just say something, you know, like I don't know, I felt like I was alone and everybody was ganging up. Like that's how I felt, you know. So
that was hard. I think
was.
This reminded me how lucky we were to have each other.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
time.
Yeah,
because we didn't really have any group of friends anymore.
Yes,
we came from group of friends that had 5 people in that group, or you know, how many of you?
We're 6.
Yeah, so we came from quite big, not super big, but you know, a good number of people in that group.
Yes.
From that to having no one at all.
Yeah.
So
it's just like the common denominator why we kicked out by the group is because of love. Which is so stupid. Because when you're young, you just fight for your love, whatever it is. But then way back, so Anne came here. So when we graduated college, we still continue talking to each other when we were like working in a call center. And then way back, was it 2015, Borj? You came here in Sydney.
Like 2000.
So 2015, Anne came here as a student, and then I was still way back in the Philippines. And 2017, I was so frustrated because like, Borj, I really want to get out in this country. I want to do something for myself. And then, because I have also a relative here, I have an auntie, and you're here. So I decided just to come here in Australia, and Anne also helped me to process my visa. You found the school and the what do you call it? The officer, the agent,
migration agent.
Yeah, and then that's why. So 1 month after the application, then I'm here in Australia. And can I just say, so Anne wasn't just there for me during my college days, but also here in Australia. I will never gonna get tired of telling these stories to everyone that the first day I came here in Australia, I lived with my auntie. And then given that my auntie, my cousins, my auntie was here for 50 years in her life. So she lives in Philippines just for like 17 years. And then 50 years, she's been here in Australia. And when the first, so I arrived maybe lunchtime, and I was so hungry because I went to a plane without no meals because my money is just so budgeted. And then my auntie just prepared me a chicken and an olives. And I was starving. I need rice. Growing up in the Philippines and as a Filipino, rice really matters. And then I just messaged Anne like, Borj, I'm so hungry, and this is what happened. The next day, Anne picked me up, and Joy as well, which is Anne's partner. She just bought 5 kilos of rice, canned like tuna, and then like you know the Jasmine 3 minutes like pocket that you just put in the microwave.
Rice.
Yeah. And then right away, and then she treated me in the Filipino restaurant Manila, which is way back in the city, but now they're closed. I think it's called Manila, isn't it? Restaurant.
I forgot.
Something like that, So so that is the most like, you know, like, and it's just so consistent and like Borj.
No, I think
I can't survive life without you.
I definitely wouldn't survive uni without you, that's for sure. And you know, you share these stories about me, but then I also want to remind you that during those times that I was on my lowest of lows, like for example, when I was back then when I was a teenage mom, I had to save my daily allowance to buy milk for my son, or the nappies and all of that. And it got to a point where when my son was almost celebrating his first birthday, and I want to throw him a party at least, and she helped me go to a junk shop.
Oh,
because in the Philippines you can actually sell any
bottles,
scrap metal
Yeah.
or aluminium
yes,
and get some cash out of
Yeah.
it. So I was collecting those scrap metals.
Yeah.
She would go to the junk shop with me.
Yeah.
Even it was too embarrassing because, of course,
It
we'd be
wasn't.
wearing our white uniform.
Yes.
She'd come to me she would come with me by baby formula and, the nappies. And yeah, it was hard, but actually, thinking about it now, I think that's what made us stronger.
Yes.
And that fire exit helped us become resilient. Because imagine that you'd be bullied in that classroom. You go out, you cry, and vent out whatever you feel, and you come back to that classroom as if nothing happened, and you have to continue with your day. It was really hard.
It was really hard.
I don't have any ill feelings about it now because, let's admit it, part of it, for me personally, I think part of it happened because of what I've done.
Me too.
So I think I just had to suck it up at that time. But then, it really made me stronger. It made us stronger.
Yeah. And of course, if that didn't happen, then we can't be like this close. I wouldn't have a best friend like you.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't have this podcast too. So
we wouldn't have Hello Borj.
And for everyone as well, me and Anne, we're so dramatic. Like everything that happens in my life, like she's literally my walking diary. Like she knows everything, every single thing that happened into my life. And then of course, like for random days that I have to go somewhere or to stay over, Anne enjoys really like open arms to how many times did I sleep into your house because of all this drama?
That's so funny because we're both dramatic.
Yeah, it is.
So whenever Jean Michael would have a fight, she would pack her things and go to her place and sleep there for a couple of nights.
Yes.
And I had this also big argument with Joy one time. I brought my suitcase with me.
Yeah.
But there was nothing in there.
It was an empty suitcase.
It was an empty suitcase. So I just went over here. I didn't even have any undies or toothbrush with me. I don't know I don't even know. I can't remember what was inside my suitcase. I think I was just bringing that with me for acting.
And I think, Borj, one thing that is so special with our friendship too is that every time there's something happening in our life, for example, like we really need stronger prayer. Like we're not really that religious, but we believe that there's really God that needs to guide us, that bless us, and listens to us. So every time, for example, it would be my first day of work, I always just message to Anne and say, Borj, can we pray about this? And then it always worked, right? Well, thank God, it's still working. And we always renew our prayers too. Like, for example, if we go to Philippines, say we come to visit this certain church, and then I always tell her, Borj, I renew our powers now. So
we call it our powers, but really it's just us praying together for the same thing.
Yeah. So I felt like it's stronger because when two people saying the same prayer, then it would be heard. It would be more like chances of granting the prayer. So that's why I think that what makes it special too.
Yeah. Now let me ask you. I've been trying to recall this, but I can't remember.
What is it?
Where is that fire exit located exactly in our school? And by the way, our school is not even that big.
Yeah.
It's just it's actually it's located on top of a hospital.
It's near the toilet.
And it's just a hallway.
So our school is basically located on the 3rd floor of the hospital. So the second floor is the hospital, and then the third is basically the uni. So when you go upstairs, there would be a big entrance with a Mother Mary statue there on the left side, and then rooms along the corridor, and then at the last end there would be a very big bench, brown bench next to across to the toilet, and then there's a small fire exit.
Is it before the toilet or after?
After the toilet. So it is also an exit that we go down sometimes if we go to the second floor. But remember? Yes. Yeah, but sometimes it's closed. because sometimes they closed it. Like you can't go to the ground floor without exit.
Yeah.
It's just you have to go to the second floor only,
Yeah.
and then you have to go to the main entrance.
Yeah, I think I remember that
An
now.
exit. So yeah, oh my god, that's how we survived, guys.
Oh, thank God for the fire exit.
And of course, Anne was my maid of honor during my wedding. As
Jay just got married.
yes, and yeah, I think like Anne really witnessed my. You know when you were like we were friends when we were a teenager, and then we started to get matured, and now having our own life now.
Mm.
So we witnessed each other growing.
Yeah.
Like you
all
know,
the milestones, all the challenges, the
Yes.
hardships.
that's right. So,
If you have a message for your 17-year-old self,
yeah,
put yourself back into that situation, what would you say to her?
it all shall pass.
Yeah, that's
That is
true.
my message, because at that moment I felt like I was just stuck in a certain scenario that I can't escape anymore. So I felt like now if I have to advise to my 17 years old, I was gonna say it all shall pass.
Yeah.
How about you, Borj?
I think I'll copy the same
too?
answer.
Yeah, it all shall
Yeah,
pass.
it will pass.
Yeah, so yeah, but well, I'm so proud of us, Borj.
Yeah, I'm so
Surviving
proud.
that and still continue. Well, you know, it was something that I thought that I cannot like remove myself out of that situation. Like we become better and stronger as who we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when we graduated college, we were
Yes.
such
A relief.
we were
Yes,
such in
it was a
big relief.
Yeah. It was like, I remember Borj, like every day we're just counting, oh, today's Monday, today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Borj, 2 days to go.
Yeah.
Always
But then
say
we
that.
reconciled with those friends of
Yes,
ours.
of course.
Yeah, that's
maturity.
yeah.
That's
I think
it.
we just grew up
Maturity.
after.
Maybe it was just significant because we discovered each other's friendship. So that's why we always highlight that years of our life.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Yes.
That takes us
That's
to the
it.
end of our podcast.
And thank you for listening.
Sige.
Amping
Borj.
Borj.